Point of the best speakers from the area for the title would proceed to the next level, Division B conference on April 13th. More to follow. And without further say, I think you are find your seats and have some drinks if you need. And we can start our contest. So let me welcome the chairlady, who doesn't need introduction for the starting community, Marina Gatovkina.
Good evening, ladies and gents. Thank you for devoting your Friday night to this amazing and entertaining event as our Area B2 contest. We are going to be very quick because everybody is a little bit anticipating and agitated to hear what our speakers have to do. So briefly to the rules. You all know that our contestants will present their prepared speeches. We are starting with the international speech contest. We have 10 contestants in our contest tonight, which is a great number, and I'm sure we will have thrills, surprises, astonishment, and all other enlightening events during this contest. So, rule number 1, of course, please turn all your mobile phones into silent mode, because the punishment will be severe. Next, for the contestants, remember that all your speeches must be from 5 to 7 minutes. If you are speaking for less than 4 minutes and a half or over 7 minutes and a half, you will be disqualified. Your great helpers tonight are our timers, Irina and Ruslan, and they will show you the timing signals. So please be aware of casting a glance to them while you are speaking, so that regular green, yellow, and red signals will be given during your speeches to keep you within the time limits. Next, for the audience, remember not to shout anything, to throw anything unless otherwise instructed by a precise speaker. And remember that our introduction mode will be very particular. I will say the name of the contestant and the title of the speech, then the title of the speech and the name of the contestant. For example, how to manage B2 area 24/7, Elina Pali, how to manage the B2 area 24/7. And then you can give a round of applause after the speech. We are not going to have any other supporting roles for tonight because we need to proceed smoothly. And now you can take your agendas and mind the speaking order of our contestants. I'm about to announce it. So, our contestant number 1 is Yuri Stetsenko. Speech number 2, Victoria Slutskaya. Speaker number 3, Anna Zabuga. Speaker number 4, Natalia Bazilevich. Speaker number 5, Vera Oleneva. Contestant number 6, Timur Berezhnoy. Speaker number 7, Ivan Buyan. Speaker number 8, Lubinetskaya Olena. Speaker number 9, Kristina Ul. And speaker number 10, Jane Pasic. Have you marked all of this speaking order in your agendas? So don't worry, I will announce all these procedures in due order. Right now, I would like to invite our chief judge and to ask if all the judges and participants have been instructed and are eligible for the contest.
That all the judges have been instructed and they are eager to listen to our speakers. And good luck.
Thank you. Our chief judge for tonight is Victoria Rudenko, and unlike in many other sports, we are for fair play, so please behave, keep yourself calm, and cheer and support all our speakers. So with all this said, I think it is time for us to proceed with our contestants and to get into the fight mode. So I would like to invite our first speaker to the stage. Please welcome Yuri Stetsenko, From Flowers to Fruits. From Flowers to Fruits, Yuri Stetsenko.
When I was little, the little bird, whose father was the student. One boy could say, if my father punches your father, he will fly away. The answer could be, my father is former paratrooper. He is not shy. He kicked out your father. In reality, it meant that children were beaten by their fathers. However, none of us knew or heard about domestic violation. Nowadays, the situation is different. Children are flowers of our lives. If you are a parent, forget about the power to work your children. Be very attentive with punishment because your neighbor can see and hear everything and he can call to police. Your child disobeys and you want to kick on the ass. It will be the worst thing you can do. Your neighbor is waiting for your big mistake. Kick your son or daughter on the ass and it will be the act of aggression. Aggressive parenting. Let's deal with it. I did some research and found that the term aggression comes from Latin words at grade, which mean to stay at. First meaning is to address to someone with advice and recommendation. Second meaning is to go against or to act with intention to help. In any case, it means the contact. The opposite to aggression is not love, friendship, respect, but the absence of contact. Does a father become aggressive in his intention to punish his child? You can say yes, because there is always alternative to this way of behavior. But let's dig deeper. Our natural environment is aggressive. It demands aggressive actions. The evolution of animals is based on aggression. You are a friend of Dynamo Kyiv, and after yesterday's match, you wish that football players will be more aggressive on the playground. You want to hire a lawyer and you expect that he will be aggressive in courtroom. Aggression is not bad or good, it just exists. By the way, after a child is born, he or she is aggressive. He moves by his hands and demands food. Aggression and activity are two synonyms during first months of human's life. As a father with 15 years experience, I would ask other parents, what are your parenting tools? Then your child does wrong. The most advanced pedagogues recommend explaining with love. I practiced it also. Look like you try to explain what was wrong. Instead, you hear excuses and then a pack of lies. You try to explain again. Then you have a crying child. Then your child goes into hysterics. You wasted time and strength. Now my approach is different. My arguments are quite simple. Usually I take his hand and neck and walk him down. Then I do unlock. I meet always his counter arguments, but I insist. His love. Dear parents, you should not follow my approach. Be more creative. Instead of using unlock, use chokehold. That's also good. But I see many young faces here in the room. Future parents. Probably you could see American movies about the spouses who decided to have children. And they took parenting workshops and seminars where they learn how to contact with child, how to establish discipline, how to praise children, and so on. Dear future parents, don't waste your money and time on this stuff. Believe me, if you want to get a set of working parenting tools, take judo, sambo, wrestling, jiu-jitsu wrestling. You should not be too professional in these sports. Remember, you have enough time, at least 15 years, for polishing your parenting skills. But all joking aside, I did renovation in my apartment and hired 2 workers. They were the father and the son. The job was tough and dirty. Young worker asked me about my occupation and I explained what I do as a lawyer. He said, "You are always clean. You only turn the paper. I am always dirty. And I carry bricks all the day alone." I asked my father many times, why? Why did not you punish me for my laziness and unwillingness to study in the school? Did you really need me as your assistant in this dirty and hard work? Dear friends, I want you to understand me right. I don't put the question to beat or not to beat our children. Children's development demands love and care. If you care about your children, you want they will be resilient adults. Children flowers cannot be resilient. What fruits will be after such flowers? We risk to get the generation of passive, unwilling to suffer, and weak people just because we follow utopian idea that parenting is bad with punishment. Who loves well, punishes well. Love your children. Madam Toastmaster.
Please, 1 minute of silence for the judges to make their judgment. Okay, minute is over, and we move to our speaker number 2, Victoria Slutsky. Just a sports story. Just a sports story. Victoria Slutsky.
You all know me as a member of Toastmasters Club and the Gorgeous Girl, of course. Some of you know I work in education, but very few are aware of my true secret passion, which is step aerobics. In case you're wondering, it's a further exercise on a special step platform, which can involve even some dance movement. I feel that now you want me to talk about how cool sports is, and that we all should start challenging ourselves from this moment on, which I'm not going to talk about. I won't even tell you about the hardship I had to overcome on my way to my step excellence, because, my friends, I've been amazing step from day one. In fact, this story starts on a cold, dark day, when every day at 6 in the morning, I got on the bus to give classes. Do you think I really liked it? This story continues when I chose to deal with people I'm not fond of, or work under conditions that don't work for me. This story didn't even finish when I joined the fitness club. My sports buddy, Ksenia, dragged me to this regular gym training with dumbbells and barbells, which I hated. Even though it was as boring as hell and even harmful for my delicate health, I didn't say no. I didn't say no until one day I fainted on the floor after intensive training. But my sports buddy didn't give up and invited me to join steps aerobics. I followed him, really expecting him. The rest is history, because we, Step Platform and I, clicked immediately. From now on, I say no to all fitness training that don't work for me or are just not mine. As I said my no in fitness, I learned to say no to other things, to a 6 a.m. bus, to the clients who waste my time and companies who waste my talents. Learning to say no paved the way to start my own project in education. It sounds very nice to say no, but it isn't enough. We need to learn to say yes, to welcome things we would like to have in our life or in our business. And all my yeses come from observing the best step aerobics instructors who I truly admire and love. The unrivaled fitness instructors, they know the power of building up a team. Very often, while performing on stage, they will jump off and just mix and mingle with crowd, giving people occasional hug, or pat on the back, or just high five. And friends, do you know this feeling when the trainer gives you a high five? It brings a feeling of unity and belonging. During the fitness training, my instructor and I, we have an absolute understanding, because we speak the same language. To the outsider, this language can seem very ridiculous and a little bit bizarre. If you find yourself at the training and your step instructor will look at you and do something like this, don't get upset. He doesn't think you're stupid. He doesn't want you to go and bang your head against the wall because you're the only person who can't repeat the movements. No. He's kind. He just wants you to start from the very beginning. If you're new to a fitness class, this message can really set you on edge. You might even think that you're tired. Which is quite true, because you will get this message only at the end of the workout. And the trainer wants you to dance for the last time and not to mess up. Observant fitness instructors taught me to appreciate the value of personal touch. My favorite dancer comes from Greece, and every time she gives a workshop here in Ukraine, she rounds it off by putting on a Ukrainian song that we have to dance to. Last time we were dancing to incredible Slavia Popavali, which we adored. This shows us respect. Now, I choose to leave my story unfinished. And there are going to be many other discoveries along the way. But this story will be filled with much more radical no's and much more yeses that I want to welcome in my life. I want to say yes to people who share my beliefs and I have understanding with people I will rally around my idea, and people who just care. Quite a nice story, wouldn't you agree? But what about your story? Anything can change it. Cooking, fishing, beer brewing, horse riding, skating, swimming, skyscraping, and that public speaking. Everybody's not.
Thank you, Victoria. 1 minute for the judges, please.
Hi. You know, I've had over 200 dates, and I've had over 200 interviews. But sharing my dating experience now is not such a good idea, so today I would like to share with you how to use interview like an instrument for self-development. The interview is just one step of getting your fulfilling job. And there are a lot of kinds of interview, and you can't even expect with which kind of interview will you be faced in a way of to your dream job. I tried to categorize interviews for you as best as I can. So, the first type of interview is training interview. The training interview is a job that you definitely don't want. And you are not interested in the opportunity, but you go there just to receive good experience for the future, to be better prepared next time. And if you are failing here, it doesn't matter, because it's just training. You know, once it was a group interview, the director decided to interview 3 candidates at the same time, and he told us that they need someone who will be kind of psychologist also. And he asked, what would you say? And I am a smoker or not? Would you tell me where is the smoking area in our office? Once girl said no, then another also said no, and I said yes, and he said, why do you think so? Because of the color of your face. I didn't receive job offer at the time, but it doesn't really matter because it was just a good experience to remember. The second one time is target interview. Target interview is a good job for you. It matches your current level of experience, and you try to show your best and do not fail like you could on the previous training interview. But the most important is the third type of interview is dream job interview. You can feel far away to achieve such job, and you even couldn't imagine how to get such offer. But it doesn't matter. You have to try yourself. You have to propose yourself at least in cover letter and to ask what you should to change to receive the job offer. And believe me, you will get an answer. Such interviews are a really good instrument to understand that maybe this job is not good for you, and you don't want to work in such company because it's totally different for your expectations. But also, you need to be prepared for different kinds of questions. Sometimes it is possible that on interviews you will be questions that just training you to be not so stressful. Sometimes on interviews, people like to ask you logical questions. For example, you can be asked, imagine the car that goes with a light speed, and then the driver switch on the headlights. What will be happen next? But from what I'm happy about, that now the most important thing, your values. And in the most successful companies, you will be asked about your values. And you will understand by these questions that it matches you or not. And I really believe that such questions is the best way to understand which job you are looking for. Thank you.
Thank you. 1 minute of silence for the judges, please.
I have a dream, said Martin Luther King, that my 4 little children live in a nation where they're not judged by the color. Relax, you guys. You're so intense. I'm not going to recite the whole Martin Luther King speech to you today, no. But the beginning will be the same. I have a dream, I said to my best friend 10 years ago. I exactly remember, it was 2009. I came to her and I said, I want to jump with a parachute. What would you say to that? Sasha, what would you say to your friends? Yes, exactly. That's what she said. She said, I want to do it with you. Yes, that's what real friends do. They jump together. So, now, the first thing that we had to do was to go to her husband. And you know what? If you think that my story has a happy ending, then I will have to disappoint you. But we did some negotiating with her husband. We talked with him because, you know, they have 2 children. And of course, at least one parent has to stay a responsible one. So we did some convincing and compromising, and finally he agreed. So 3 of us, Nick, Maya, those are my friends, we got into the car and we went to Cherkasy. Why Cherkasy? Because another one of our friends, his name is Sasha, he lives in Cherkasy, and he found a really cool proposition. You can jump with a parachute for 120 hryvnia. Yeah, that's cheap. Well, you know, that price should have raised our suspicion back then, but no, we were too unwilling to see any signs until we came here. So we arrived, and the first thing, they took us to the doctor's office. Okay, office is too big of a word, because that was a little shed with old shabby tables and dirty, questionable tablecloths, and this man, just imagine this man, he's standing there trying so hard to look professional, but you know, it's really difficult when you have swollen eyes after a long night of heavy drinking. And the next person who almost made us change our mind was this short little man with greasy hair and red eyes. Do you know why he's really important for my story? He was the guy who was folding our parachute. So we're standing there, witnessing this man hold our lives in his trembled hands, the guy with severe hangover. And that wasn't even the worst. Because after that, they had to explain to us everything that would happen, because we would land. Sometimes people land in trees, sometimes people would land on water, or on the roofs of the buildings, or even on wires. Can you imagine what would happen if you land on wires? Then they gave us our parachutes, so we had to put on 2 parachutes, because if one of them doesn't open, and you can talk to our Yura Panasenko, he will tell you, then the second one will open for sure. Then, of course, we put on our helmets, and we proceeded to the airplane. Now that was the last drop. Have you guys seen movies about the Second World War? No, seriously, those airplanes are nothing compared to the one that we saw. And, yeah, like, I could show you pictures, I just don't really have time for that. But that airplane, it looked like it had just been taken from the battlefield. And the only thing missing from that were the holes of the shrapnel in the side of that airplane. Well, it was too late to back out, so we just proceeded boarding the death plane. And the first person to jump was our friend Sasha, because he's the heaviest, and the heaviest person usually jumps first. I was probably the fourth or the fifth, I can't really remember very well. But what I do remember is when I'm standing there in front of the open door, and I'm looking into this hole of nothingness. And my heart is pounding like never before, and my blood is pumping in the temples. It's like it's beating the machine gun there. And all I'm thinking is, why am I doing this to myself? But then you jump, and you're supposed to count 3 seconds. 301, 302, 303, and pull. And then the parachute is in the air up there, and then we're hanging. Now this is the end of the happy part of my story. Because now comes disappointment. That's it? Just 3 seconds of thrill, and now this? Just hanging? What's the excitement in that? I had been dreaming about that since my early childhood. And you know what? At that moment, I understood that I want to dream bigger. And of course, it was nice, don't get me wrong. We got the feeling of accomplishment, and none of us broke any bones. But still, it was a little bit disappointing. And I knew I could do much more. You know what's sad, though? There are so many people around me who dream too small, who aim too low, just because they're afraid, just because they don't want to lose face, or they think that their dreams are impossible, or that there are other people who could do it much better than them. Well, I say, go for it. Each one of you is created with enormous potential, with unique talents, with great capabilities, and with those impossible, beautiful dreams. So I say, shoot for the moon, because even if you miss, you will land among the stars. And you know, this might sound as old as our world, but Ecclesiastes said there is nothing new under the sun. Dream big, aim high, and act bold. Thank you, guys.
Start my speech with a cup of hot, well brewed coffee. Still hot. All for the best, you know? That's for the best. Have you heard that phrase? Have you?
Yes. Yes.
I'm personally from that type of people who doesn't believe in all for the best. When you drop a piece of tasty, creamy cake on the floor and your friend who knows that you're on a diet tells you it's all for the best. That's funny. But when you think that your life is breaking down into small pieces and everyone around you tells you all for the best, all for the best, all for the best, seriously? Seriously? How can you imagine that this is for the best? So yes, I'm from that type of people who doesn't believe in all for the best. But the story I wanted to tell you happened 6 years ago, when I was a third-year student. I was a prominent student, showing high level of diligence and intellect. At least I called myself like that. Others called me more officially Zoom. At that time, running became for me not only a requirement for being fit, but something bigger, I don't know, my lifestyle. And this story would be nothing to write home about. If not, a small piece of paper that changed my life dramatically. It happened on the New Year Eve. I was coming to the research institute where I was working out for tests in the university, when I saw a piece of paper on the entrance door. Applied for Ukraine USA Syria front. Requirements are following the link. Driven by a wind of change, I ran into the lab, I opened laptop and Googled. Requirements were quite easy. In order to win the grant and to get the possibility to work for half of a year in a Boston Research Institute, you need to be an undergraduate student and you need to have at least 2 publications in international journals, which, believe me, is quite a difficult task for Ukrainian undergraduate. But what luck, I had exactly 2. So I've sent an application immediately and started waiting for a wonder. My wonder wasn't long in coming and appeared to me in the shape of the chief of institute where I was working. Well, Vera, he said authoritatively, if I would have a chance to vote, I would be voting for you, but the decision is after a CRDF jury. They will choose the winner after presentations of all applicants. But as far as I know, you are the only one who has 2 publications at the moment, so you are their best candidate. Blinded with happiness, just imagine half of a year in Boston, huge perspectives for future job, I ran back home. And the only thing I was able to do there was Bambolero, Bambolero. Yeah, it was like that. When the dust of happiness has settled a bit, I can hardly recall the last words of the chief of institute. Just prepare for the presentation, and the grant will be yours. I've immediately started preparation of the list of sightseeing places that I will visit in Boston. Being finished, my list included 48 sightseeing places with the gold star. Boston Marathon. Boston Marathon is considered one of the most prestigious races in the world, and I would be a part of it. Wow! When the day X, the day of the presentation has come, I was ready. But I was so scared to talk in front of the audience that my hands, they were shaking like crazy. I wasn't a member of Toastmasters yet. So I decided to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. To drink a cup of coffee before the presentation and to talk with the chief judge to establish a personal contact. So here I am, standing with a cup of coffee, set in direction to the chief judge like a determined eagle. First step, second step, and I'm flying like the eagle. Oh no, I'm really flying. That slippery floor. At that time, I could hardly see a cloud on the horizon. But when I came back to my senses, I saw it. Not a cloud, but a spot from my coffee on a snow-white shirt of the chief judge. As you can guess, I didn't win the grant. I was broken, really. A cup of coffee has ruined my hopes, my dreams, my life. All for the best, my family was telling me. All for the best, my friends echoed them. Seriously, all for the best? But I'm the type of people who doesn't believe in all for the best. I'm the type of people who doesn't. I was the type of people who doesn't believe in all for the best. Till 15th of April 2013. On that day, during Boston Annual Marathon, 2 homemade bombs were detonated near the finish line, killing 3 people and injuring 264, including 16 who lost their limbs. Dear friends, I know my sport results. The time these bombs exploded on the finish line would be the time I would be finishing marathon. So I don't know if I would be standing here in front of you now or be on those photos. I don't know if I would live a normal life after that day or have a pair of shoes Boston strong. I don't know. Dear friends, I do not encourage you to make all for the best your life motto. I'm just saying that sometimes small things can really change your life. And when tomorrow you will be drinking your morning tea or coffee, just remember that despite whatever might be happening in your life, maybe you're holding in your hands not just a cup of something, but a cup for the best.
Five. play computer games. What do you usually think of people who play computer games? Probably that they're not serious enough, that they have an addiction, and they're trying to escape from real life. Once a lady told me that she had broken up with her boyfriend because he wasn't interested in self-development, but played tanks all day long. They had been together for 8 years, can you imagine? Tanks versus a fragile lady. Tanks won. That's why even more difficult than to tell you about this was to tell my girlfriend. She is a very responsible person. In her 24, she has her own business, drives a car, gets up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and prohibits me to have secrets from her. So I told her, honey, I want to tell a speech about computer games. Wow! Have you played GTA? Where you're a gangster and you steal cars? That's the best game ever! I would kill for GTA! I learned how to drive a car with its help. After collecting my jaw from the floor, it became clear for me that successful people also play computer games. But have I played too much to become successful? It all started in the cruel 90s, when a small boy was dreaming of having a computer like all his friends. And when I finally got one, nothing could stop me. I played Doom with its square monsters. I played strategies, city builders, FIFA 99. I had scandals with my mom, who set password on my computer, which I successfully guessed. When I grew up, I also sometimes spent long hours playing and often had the nasty feeling of getting addicted. It's when you play all day long and you just can't stop, like a chain smoker. Because you have, for some reason, to pass all those goddamn levels. When the game starts substituting your real life, it's high time to press escape. But on the other hand, computer games gave me a fountain of wonderful impressions. I lacked in my real life. I felt strong, mighty, and rich. Got new reasons, yes, new reasons to be proud of myself, and also learned a lot of English words while playing some games. But there are two of them I especially want to tell you about because they were very important for me. The first one is Caesar 3. There you act as an ancient Roman governor. A very beautiful and exciting game. An economic strategy, which means in order to build your city, you have to earn money. For example, you build an olive farm and an oil workshop, provide them with workforce and maintenance, and organize the production of olive oil, which you then sell to other cities. In fact, you invest the money into creating a system that eventually brings you more money. Cool? This game about ancient Rome clearly showed me how to create a business. It happened when I was 20, and at 22, I organized my first real business, a language school that successfully works until now. And the other story happened this year. One cold winter evening, I was bored. No speech to write for tomorrow. And I didn't have the girlfriend yet. So I decided to shoot somebody, just to relax. That's why I found a good shooting game in medieval style, where you have a bow, and you shoot at different enemies attacking your castle, like swordsmen, horsemen, archers, etc. This is a flash game, a short one. 25 levels and only 42 minutes to pass it completely. After passing the game several times, I set myself an impossible goal. No damage should be done to my castle during the whole game. And after I tried for a month, I saw there was just no way to fulfill my goal. It's impossible. I can't shoot better. So what can I do? Nothing, I said to myself. and continued trying. Because I liked the game. And one beautiful day, it came down on me that I hadn't used castle archers and catapults often enough. After doing so, I achieved my cherished no damage result at the second attempt. I did it! I tried for a month and I did it! And I did it 9 more times the following week. Just to make sure. You see, guys, a simple flash game I sometimes played to relax gave me probably the biggest insight of my life. The impossible is possible. You just have to find a way to reach your goal. A way you haven't yet seen. And as you can see, computer games can teach you really important things. Could I have learned those things without playing games? Of course I could. Maybe if I hadn't spent thousands of hours on playing, I would have already learned the Chinese language with all the dialects. But as one wise Chinese man said, never regret anything you've done if at that time you were a hacker. Thank you.
1 minute of silence, please.
Raise your hand if you have a question. Okay, many hands are up, put it down. Not opening your eyes, please. Mention a moment when you cherish a dream come true. This triumph, exciting, satisfaction. Okay, not opening your eyes, please. Raise your hand if it happened in your life that you had a dream that you didn't achieve. Raise your hand, please. Yeah, many hands are up. It's difficult to admit, but please, raise your hand if it was difficult, painful moment for you. Please, raise your hand. Okay, many hands are up. Okay, put your hands down and open your eyes, please. The purpose of my speech is to make everybody who is here today never give up anymore on your way to your dream. You know, I dug deeply into this subject. Person usually gives up when there are too much difficult circumstances, painful obstacles, and etc., etc., and person can't stand against, and person gives up. These stones which symbolize such circumstances, like pain, problems, losses, mistakes, failures, etc., 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 just let's call of that circumstances. So these tremendous circumstances, the guy who done them made them 2 times bigger than I asked, but okay. These stones will symbolize such circumstances. And as far here 3 stones, 1, 2, 3, I will give you 3 advices which will help you never give up on your way to your dream anymore. The first one is failure acceptance. Many people think that they have a kind of like limit for mistakes, like 1, 10 or 100 times, doesn't matter. After that, stop. Harakiri, seppuku. Completely wrong statement. When Michael Jordan was young, he was rejected from the basketball team because of lack of talent. Walter Disney was kicked out from the newspaper, it was his first job, because of lack of ideas. Joanne Rowling sent her Harry Potter to hundreds of different publishing houses and received just, no, it's too boring, we will not publish that. I experienced failure again and again. This is why I am champion, said Jordan. The first advice, let's remember, failures are accepted. Mistakes are accepted. It's just normal part of our way to our dream. Make as many failures as you want. Remember just one thing. You should stand up 1 time more than you fell down. The second one, darkness concentration. Darkness concentration, it's when all these obstacles came all together and take friends. And darkness concentrates around you and person can stand and person gives up. At the age of 24, in 2005, me and my friend Anton Chorny created a hip-hop duet. We recorded songs, shot music videos. We gave around 300 courses around CIS. In the age of 24, Anton Chorny died. I was at the bottom of the darkness concentration. No matter how hard it was, I carried on. I recorded 2 more albums. shot 5 music videos, and all of them dedicated to Черный Sonor. Then I stopped making music. Did I give up? No. Our dream was to make songs which inspire people to success. And even now, I keep going our dream, and I perform in here, not being alone, we're doing this together. The second advice, when you feel that the darkness concentration reached its peak, and all the obstacles came at the same time, and you're thinking about giving up, squeeze your teeth and go through that. Remember, the darkest moment in a day, it's always the moment before the sunrise. And later on, you will see the first bright sunlight. And the main point of my speech, number 3. You know, life is an adventurous trip. You want to go through all that difficulties, circumstances, and painful moments in your life? Do you want to pass through all the challenges life prepared to you? Fill your heart just with one simple matter, and all these obstacles will sound for you in a totally different way. Love. It's difficult sometimes to fill your heart with love when you're at the bottom of the darkness concentration. It's difficult to fill your heart with love when you are kicked out from job, when you break out with lovers, when you are kicked out from work and you lose in business, and etc., etc., etc. It's difficult to fill your heart with love when someone up there takes your closest people and you couldn't even tell them that you love them. But love, fundamental of everything, the essence of spring, of sun, of shining birds, of all the best things in this, the brighter thing in this world, it's the fundamental of friendship, of relations. And when you feel that you are about to drown and the last chance is burned, you are ready to fall down and scream like, why did I get it all? Please remember about love. Remember about love. Fill your heart with love, and your life will sound in a different way. It will help you to stand up and go ahead. Love your life as it is. That's your life. Make as many mistakes as you want. That's your life. Love it. Feel this love inside you. Feel this love inside of your heart, and this life will sound to you in totally different way when you fill your heart with just one simple matter: love. Dear friends, I discussed with you today how not to give up on your way to your dream. I strongly believe that these simple advices will help you never give up again and never feel that painful moment in your life again. These advices will help you, and they help me every day. Believe it. Try that. It's very easy. The first advice, remember, we all have an unlimited amount of mistakes. Make as many mistakes as you want. Doesn't matter. Important is to stand up one time more than you fell. The second advice, when you feel the darkness concentration reached its peak and you think about giving up, just squeeze your teeth and go through this. And you will see the first bright sunlight on your way to your dream. And third one, the main point, fill your heart with love. Love your life. Love all the obstacles on your way. Love everything that life gives to you. And your life will sound to you in a totally different way. Just make this step first.
Bestseller, like with name like 10 Ways to Change Your Life, or about fiction masterpiece with a deep storyline. But no. Let's imagine that we can travel in time, and now we are in 2010. I'm 14 years old. Standard complex of teenage complexes. Pimples on the face, communication problems, etc. There are two my little brothers. They were with me a lot of time, everywhere. At school, at walks with my friends, everywhere. And what about school? every one of you has only good memories of school years? Parents always say that, be smarter, keep it simple, don't give some attention. This never happened. So I just ran away from reality into books. But you know, to be honest, full collection of Dostoevsky works didn't give this situation for better. I have full collection of Dostoevsky work. It's my 20 years birthday present. Oh, my grandfather. But in one day, I found a book about a girl, very sad and boring girl, which opens the portal to another world, full of dragons, werewolves, some wizards. Of course, there are a little zombies, and of course, unicorns and super princes. And you know, this girl, he has a team, of course, team of creatures with different races, like elves or gnomes. She's only person who have changed, saved the world from Dark Lord or something other else. And of course, finally there is a happy end. A good triumph on evil, and everyone is happy. So repeat the classic scheme. Where is my classic scheme? Oh, here we are. So, typical loser, sad girl with boring life. Portal to another reality, of course. Turns out that this girl is a lost daughter of king. She is a warrior. She has some magical ability. Of course. She has a team. She has a devil. Evil. Like Dark Lord. And then, happy end. You know, I lived with these stories. I passed them through myself. I imagined this mysterious world. In my dreams, I was this girl who changed the world. And I didn't understand that these stories changed me. Like a girl from this book, I become more confident. I become more responsible. I try to new things in my life. Also, I gave up to afraid meeting new people, like Toastmasters. And I changed my behavior with classmates. You know, they even don't remember me like a shy girl. Voice of girl from these stories in my head told me, you can do everything, even without magic. If you feel disappointment, if you feel that everything going wrong and life failed and everything lost, just remember, there are parallel universes where you can be anyone you want to be. And just try to become that other person, the better version of yourself. Thank you.
1 minute of silence, please.
Important how many emotions you are going to collect during your life. These can be pictures,
These can be videos that you watch on YouTube. These can be different talks with friends who have already realized your dream. And you collect all these emotions as the most treasurable things in life. And when you have a lot of them, or enough of them, they create a kind of a pump, which is going to push your dream up, and then this burst of realization, because you will not be able to keep these emotions inside of you. You will have this tremendous importance to realize them. So collect please these emotions. And my dream was born 5 years ago, when I learned how to swim. Maybe you would ask me, why did I learn to swim so late? The answer is very simple. I was petrified to death of water. I was afraid to get into the water. I was afraid to be even near the water. I was afraid of the depths of it. I was afraid of all the creatures who were living there. That was very terrible. And the whole creature grew over there, which is called fear. It was so personalized that I even could talk with this fear. But on the other hand, I love water very much. I love it so much. I like taking shower, I like having baths, I like going to saunas, have all these procedures with water. I adore it. And to these beautiful things, love and fear, they were negotiating for the next 20 years. I was watching and thinking, when will it stop? And then this fear came out and told me, okay, if you want this dream so much, then go and do it. And I thought, okay, finally, I can do it. And that was the moment when I was doing 100 rows from the coast of the sea, and then 100 rows to the coast of the sea. And I was coming out of the water. The sun was shining, and it was wrapping me in the blanket of the warmth. And I felt so cozy and nice. I sat on the sand. And I understood that all these emotions that I was anticipating, they are happening with me. They are running up and down through my body, and I feel happiness, I feel love, I feel pleasure, I feel joy, and all these possible emotions that I was feeling, they were warming me up in the blanket of sun. And then I understood that a dream was born. I thought, how good will it be to learn to surf? That was a good dream. And I was tasting this dream on my lips. And for sure, this moment should have been spoiled. My old friend Fear appeared. You cannot do it. This is dangerous. This is way too dangerous for you. This depth, this wave, it will swallow you up and you will be dead. This wave will throw you onto the beach and you're lying there dead. Everybody is coming. This is still, no, you cannot do it. I do not allow you to do it. I looked at my fear, but I was feeling this warmth and gentle blanket of sun, all these emotions that were running up and down on my body, and I understood that this is the moment where I need to talk to my fear. And I thought calmly, you know, I will do it. No one else. And he looked at me, and he understood that he cannot win here as a man usually does. That is why the only role he could serve, this is the role of support. And he told me, okay, I allow you to do it, but I have one condition. When you are going to surf, you need to forget about everything. Nothing exists. No thoughts, no emotions, just 3 things you need to keep in mind. First one, this is you. Second one, this is the board which you're surfing. And the third one, this is the wave that you are surfing. Did you understand me? Whenever you practice it, you can go and surf. I looked at my fear, my old friend, and understood. What a wise thing he is telling me. This is very interesting. I can live like this. Can you imagine? When you live your life, you can surf it, and you have only three things in mind. Nothing else exists. Nothing that surrounds you is important. Only you, your dream, and the emotions that are going to burst out in the anticipation of this happy moment of realization of the dream. Can you imagine it? We can do it all. Keep in mind, only you, your dream, and the emotions which you anticipate to get while your dream is going to be realized.
Would never be the same again. Just words. But sometimes they can spoil everything. At the university, I drafted a column on the relationship between genders, and I collected information and sociological research on the main mistakes between women and men. From 70 to 90% of the cases, the decisive part was played by words spoken at the peak of vigorous doubt. Words spoken out of the place spoiled everything. Delving into that problem, I realized that my scientific research was not alone. That is a micro problem of all humanity. Humanity. Words. 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 From the early childhood, I intuitively tried to observe my interlocutor and to feel how harmonious his gestures, his facial emotions, and his energy flows. Because sometimes only words are not enough for understanding another person. Nowadays, we evolved in the world when the woman became the self-sufficient. So another problem gradually grew. To be a woman became simply a woman, became impossible. Because she started very actively making business, wearing pants, driving car. Alongside that woman, like that, the man now looks longer like a hero or a macho who can lead that enthusiastic woman. She earns money. She takes him to the movies. She takes him a ride to work. So I think that historical position of a man can be fully replaced by woman. You are right. So I will be frank with you because I'm not a feminist at all and it's not my position. And I have a secret. I will reveal it to you now. The secret for an ideal relationship without unnecessary words, where the leading position as before, played by the man. I'm speaking now about that tango. In the dance, you can't speak at all. Everything during that without words. Only the small touch of hands to pass the transmission. Amazing. It's like imitation of a real life, person's life, because you, like in real life, always has a choice. The partner has a choice. She should follow the partner, and if she likes his suggestions or proposals, and he has too the choice to whom exactly involved to dance. Or, and if you want to lead her, dance with her. If everything is neutral and the dance starts,
the merging of two energies and a continuous flow of light filled inside. In real life, the man not always have ability to bring us expensive gifts, but the partner in the tango can give you the opportunity to decorate your body with their tango moves. You can stand like this, you can do like this, you can do like this, you can do like this, like this, like this, and you can be whatever you want. So, everybody can look at you like a treasure. You will be more elegant and evokes aesthetic pleasure on the other side. So, I'm dancing tango and it makes me feel more feminine and calmer. The bonus is that I can understand another people and words of people around from time to time, even without additional words. I can feel their energy. And a very nice bonus for me, I can make a small master classes on the perfect hooks. Tango works wonders. Please, think a little bit. What could help you directly to feel and to understand another person correctly without the words? And words would have no ability to spell everything. Maybe dancing like me, maybe few successful relationship and business trainings, maybe personal coaching, or to be just a little bit more observant, or maybe everything together. Everybody has their own recipe, I have already found my own, and now your turn. Good luck!
You have provided us with so many good tools for parenting, to educate our kids. How many have you? So we will not ask him about it. It's a secret. So can you recollect your childhood? What was the most efficient tool of your parents to help you become a successful man that you are today?
Probably believe in children.
Why are you not writing down? We will all end up having kids sooner or later. Victoria Slutská, please come. Thank you. Here is this wonderful certificate. And your book is about some corporation. Besides, you have mentioned writing a story in our life with all your activities. What is the story you are writing right now?
It's not finished.
But at least you need to know the direction.
Well, my story is about doing things that I like, that I want, with people who I love.
Great choice. Great. I truly encourage you to put down some notes. After all these small interviews, we will be able to conduct trainings how to be happy, healthy, and successful. Anna Zabuka. Anna, my question to you is, what is the dream job you would like to do? Yeah. Really like. And we hope this book will help you. Так, Наталья Базилевич. And we have selected a book for you. The right to make mistakes. Question. You encourage us all to dream big. How can we scale what is big and what is small?
Well, it really depends on a person. What is big for small for you. It depends on your personality. Like something that is really huge for me up there in the sky could be probably too low for Sasha. He could say, well, what's that? That's nothing for me. Or vice versa. It really depends. So you guys, I just want to say again, dream big and think again and listen to your heart what it is for you, okay? Thank you. Vera?
Well, we have been very creative with them and decided to give you some graphic design.
Wow.
But my question is, yeah, it is quite heavy. But my question is very straightforward about two things. About next marathon, and have you ever happened to get to Boston?
Not yet, but I ran my first marathon not in Boston, but here in Ukraine, and it was not a marathon, it was 50-kilometer race. So it was even...
Well, the topic of games is very appealing to all of us, be it computer games or games in life. And here is a piece of advice for you. Games
Still like an artist. It's very topical.
Yeah, well, that's good. My question is that if we take computer games aside, we all know that you are very good at playing, acting, and so on. What is your favorite game in life?
My favorite game in life is relaxation. Unfortunately, people too much forget about this game, and they think this is the most important game, because people are too hasty.
Okay, so just slow down and enjoy the moment. Is this your recipe? Okay, great. Ivan. Ivan, now I may say that was absolutely blowing away, since there is no judges here anymore. I was wondering, what was, when you were saying about this total darkness, the concentration darkness, what was your personal turning point to the light, if you can share with us?
About a personal story.
Yeah.
Love. It was love.
Come on, guys, let's all remember this simple four-word word. Love rules everything. And we have chosen the book about 6 hats, so I think it might add something to your life as well. Olena. Thank you. Nice story about books. My question is, which book would you like to write? Since we have all understood you are a fond reader and you enjoy being in different worlds, which book would you like to write?
Maybe I will write a book about my life because I have a dream that I will be not a regular person.
Will it be a detective, a thriller, a comedy, a melodrama?
I think it's like non-fiction book that will help people in some way, maybe psychological way, maybe in a way that they can find what is their dream about. Because it's very hard for me to find dreams, and I thought I can find it and can help other people find their dreams.
That's a great thing. And by the way, many of our speeches tonight were devoted to dreaming, and dreams turn to be very important. And I would like to talk about success and happiness. It might be some. Christina? You?
Thank you.
and you have a chance to win.
That's it. So negotiating is your,
Yeah.
is your deal. Well, guys, let's try. Next time we're afraid of public speaking, at least let's negotiate and don't participate in a contest.
I wait for my
I'm so we're lucky to have Stan with us. So that's a pretty practical and maybe even boring book, but maybe not. We'll hope to hear about it in one of your next speeches.
Thank you very much.
You see, I'm not speaking still, giving a speech still. I'm pretty worn out. Jane. Great job, thank you. So, dancing is a very important thing, I believe. Because I'm fond of dancing as well. Was curious to ask, which other dances you would like to dance beside tango and why tango?
I think the tango is very elegant without any additional touch of legs or very close to be in front of another person because it's only just hands. And if I would like to be connected with a partner, I can do this. But in other variants, I don't like that because I choose a partner and the partner will choose me.
And by the way, is it possible in tango for a woman to lead?
Yes, it is when the woman can lead the man part. Only in that case.
Okay, good to know. Okay, without further ado, here is... Now, everyone, please stand up. If you think, please mind the order of our contestants. Contestant number 1, Zoya Gulьков. Contestant number 2, Юлия Заболотная. Contestant number 3, Тимур Бережной. Number 4, Наталья Васильевич. Number 5, Юрий Стеценко. Number 6, Jane Pasechnik. Number 7, Виталий Рулев. Number 8, Olena Lubinetska. Chief Judge, please let me know if all the
They are still here. And they eager to listen to you.
Okay, contestants, please remember that you have from 1 to 2 minutes to give your evaluation. Disqualification. 2 to 3, well, that's a whole life, I would say. And our timers, Irina and Ruslan, will signal the time to you. 2 minutes, 2 minutes 30, and 3 minutes sharp. And our counters are still with us. So now it is high time for me to invite our secret speaker for tonight, a brave man we will all admire even more from today. Please welcome Eugene Filatov with his speech, A Way to Your Goal, Doctrine and Love. Round of applause.
Good evening. Guys, I want to share today my little advice how to achieve goals, set the ways and importance of your personal doctrine. You know, good Toastmasters need to have clear and personal story. My story will be not so clear, but at least it will be personal. I hope it is personal. And it may sound like session with psychologists, and all of you will be my psychologists. So listen to me very. Love. I think everybody of you need love. Most of us want to share love. I personally believe that life without love is absent. So as you understand, my goal is love. But not to people in general. To very specific, or even better, from very specific person. I have broke up my relationship time ago. After some back and forth, a lot of drinks, but who knows me that I don't drink, a lot of sweeties, exercises, traveling new dates, I decide I decide fight for my life, my love, again for fifth time. So I set a clear goal. Why I need her, my Valentine, what I do, and so on. After that, in my advices, I need to set several ways to achieve it. Not one way, but several ways. I recommend at least have 3 ways. In my case, the way number 1, I will change to be a hero she needs. I will be more polite, I handle her, I care her with handle, protect like a father, spend more time together, and of course earn more money to cover her endless wishes and desires. The second way was a simple one. She will change and accept me as I am. Really, I believe that she will start seeing that I am, realize that I am the best of the best. And of course, she needs to spend less time on Instagram to grow her population, change her glamour style to more common one, more casual one. But, maybe earn more money to less depends on mine, and most important, she will need to love campaign vacation with handmade dishes instead of 5-star luxury hotels and delicious restaurants. Also, I have the third way. Let us be free. Forget her, be open to new people, new relations, and so on. It sounds like back down from my goal, yes? But sometimes you need to leave your goal to achieve it. Especially this woman. You know that less we love a woman, more she loves us. Or treat them means keep them him. Girls maybe not okay with me, but anyway. So, I have 3 clear visions. How do you think which of this way are possible to happen to me?
No way.
No way. I don't have such result. Obviously. No, more. Okay. Usually we choose, when we have several ways, we choose one way and go this way. I try to achieve, to work in new direction, believe in all of your 3 ways and work on all of your 3 ways. And if you fall down on one of the ways, you may succeed at least on another way. And plus, of course, you improve and grow when you leave your comfort zone, because when we choose the one way, we choose the simple one way. But when you have several ways, you work on each of them. And now we come to final part. Is setting up your own objective. When you have a big goal, you not always feel that it may happen. I am very practical person, and plus I can't wait. I need results now. At least a small confirmation of this result. But with big goals and love, you need time and exposure. In this way, doctrine may help you do not lose on the way and get there. Especially when you break down or lose motivation or don't have any power. Have it in your mind very clear vision why you need this goal, understand the importance of it, and visualize your success are core values of your personal doctrine. Belief will help you to wake up and achieve your goals on long road to target. Guys, help me to summarize my speech. The first step, what do you need to do? Remember?
Change yourself.
Set the goals. Okay. The second step is
Forget about them.
okay. You have several ways to achieve your goal. And final one. It's simple. Have doctrine to achieve your, which will help you to achieve these goals. Thank you very much.
Dear participants, please leave the room with me.
Contestants, the whole stand, please. Come back here. In fact, once we start brainstorming now, and we'll have dozens of these ideas. I think we can negotiate. I have noticed some, you have mentioned that women usually do not agree with some points. The more you something, the less they something, or vice versa. Where did you get, you're a young and attractive man, where did you get this Stone Age stereotype?
It's my personal experience.
How many dates you have got?
Not so much.
One of our contestants mentioned some, hundreds of dates and hundreds of interviews. Maybe you should... You see, there is a person
after
with experience.
100 days of experience, maybe. But for now...
We were lucky with Stan to save one book. Well, I know I promised it to Stan.
I didn't take it, Jenny. It's all yours.
Finally, I have one book from Toastmasters.
Yeah, well, it is... The title is very promising. It is Not Knowing.
Oh.
So maybe not knowing something is even better than knowing everything. But I hope you will have some time, some fruitful time with the book and with happy endings of all your endeavors.
Thank you.
And I know that I owe you one book and 3 chocolate cookies. Mark my word, we have witness.
I will wait for mine.
Okay, you all remember that we have to spend some 3 minutes, I believe, 5 minutes. Yeah, 5 minutes. So now let's think, we have 3 parts of this audience. Let's have some type of a contest between us. So this is the smallest part. I believe they are the craziest ones. So since we're in the contest, how many of you or who of you has ever taken part in any contests in Toastmasters? Come on, don't be shy, I don't remember all. How many of you have taken parts in contests beyond Toastmasters? Some competitions? Now the most exciting part starts. Active and extreme sports competitions. 3, 1, 1. Well, okay, some music competitions, music contests. Well, the same.
Those hands are bad hands.
Some quizzes, you know, quizzes, and you know it all, Harry Potter, Sherlock Holmes, some Game of Thrones. Okay, just to name a few. So
The last
quizzes.
season is coming.
Huh?
The last season of Game of Thrones is coming this April.
Okay. Chess, anyone? Can you think of any other kinds of contests? Like powerlifting, by the way, powerlifting. Where are our real matches? Artyom, powerlifting? Any? Well, no powerlifting. Dancing? Have I mentioned dancing?
No.
Well, I should have taken some notes. Because we have some division conferences, summer picnics. I need names. We are short of speakers, presenters, and performers. Okay, prof contest to some good things. I saw Sasha and I recollected your speech immediately about some good things. Any mass initiatives like protecting kids, protecting environment or something. Any activists in this? Don't be shy, we will find everything out.
I'm going to third party.
Okay. Stan decided to intervene before I moved on to some Friday night ideas. Okay, right now we start our contest. Please remember, after each contestant, our judges will have 1 minute of silence. Please make use of this 1 minute. You can sleep, you can relax, you can just... Not yet. Yes. So, Zhenya? Be strong, we will do it all together. So, we are with you. Please welcome our speaker number 1. Jane. You're a gentleman, so please welcome on stage our first contestant, Zoya Kushkova.
Fellow Toastmasters, and dear Eugene, that was a very good speech. You picked the topic which is close to everyone, from little children to older people. But it is a very dangerous topic too. Because since everyone knows a lot about that, it's very important to pick something that will be new to people. And you managed to do it. For example, I had never heard before, like 3 steps of how to attain love or something like that. I have never thought about the possibility to make steps and plans on having love. So thank you for opening this to me. I tried to analyze your speech in 4 sectors, like the first one, motivation, how you motivate the audience, and you did it very well. You motivated it with your manner and with your topic. The second one is message that you have. This is the main for every speech. Then means that you use. You used a lot of interesting words, really, like 5-star hotels and something like that, which is probably modern way of analyzing love. My first time in 5-star hotel was when we celebrated our 35th anniversary with my husband. Now it's different. And the last one is manner. In what manner you present the speech, the topic. Your manner was very relaxed. And that is very good because when you speak about love, you need to be relaxed. Otherwise, people, a lot of people, especially men, especially young men, they think, oh, love is so responsible. We need to have responsibilities. I don't want to get in love because this is so relaxed manner, like walking around was nice speaking about love. To show people that it is not so awful. Love is not so dangerous. It's not so heavy. And what I would recommend to improve your speech in future, don't bring paper when you speak about love. Those will think that you don't know what to do with them. You never use your papers. You don't use them at all. One more thing is probably you should make more eye contact. I always watched your back, and I would like to watch your face. And other than that, don't speak about steps in love.
One minute of silence, please.
Here before you start talking. It starts way there when you start coming to the stage and people look at you and make their first impression. Zhenya, I know you, and the moment you appeared on stage, I started questioning it. Like, I know that Zhenya is so good at humorous speeches, and now he looks a bit official with a nose in his hands. So something serious is about to happen. Did he live up to this expectation? We'll talk about it later, but first, I need to say that I admired you the moment you started addressing us. I realized that I was taken care of as your audience because you showed me the direction and you told me what to expect. So I felt secure and I was ready to embark on this adventure of yours. And then you started by telling your personal story and the self-irony was there. So I knew Zhenya is there, everything is fine, jokes are about to follow. And then I heard this word, love. And that was a glimpse of hope that I got, because love is the last thing I hope to hear from you. And you used a very peculiar intonation for it, love. And that intonation was there in your speech only once. Love is there to inspire us, to lift us up. And that's a topic with which it's impossible to lose. We all can relate to love. Love was mentioned here many, many times. And so you started to teach us how to get love. You started to teach us how to help another person feel love. I was trying to get this purpose of yours. I saw this determination in your eyes and I wanted to get, okay, so what's the point? Like, what to do about love here in your speech? You started with giving certain pieces of advice, but we were more concentrated on your personality. We were concentrated on the way you walked and you talked and impressed us. It was so impressive and expressive, but the point just wasn't there. In the end, you started to ask us questions what we remembered, but I guess what we remembered was not about words, it was about impression. We remembered that Zhenya is a very expressive speaker. We remembered that Zhenya can make his audience resist, as women's part of the audience did, and you made another part of your audience, men, support you. You could make people laugh easily, and you can make us think about important things, and probably the purpose is to help us understand the main point after the speech, like reflecting on it. I didn't really get it. So be more specific, create a goal, and say it merely in 3 words. And after all, Zhenya, I know that comic actors are the most fragile people. And when they say something humorous, what they really mean is a deep message inside. So don't be afraid to be fragile here and to expose yourself. We will appreciate your true message. You can be funny, be real. Thank you very much.
It's already worth a round of applause for you. You're great. Thank you, guys. I liked the title of your speech. I like the style of your speaking and the manner, the thought which you wanted to give to the audience. What else I like is that you possess actually the quality that very few speakers possess. Especially, I don't know how long have you been at Toastmasters. I haven't seen many of your speeches, unfortunately. Maybe 3 years. 3 speeches, wow! That's amazing. But you feel as relaxed as speakers after several, maybe 10, even after 10 years. You feel really relaxed here on the stage and you communicate with the audience. This is what I like. I like your gestures because a lot of speakers they have plunged hands or they have limited gestures. Your gestures were wide and very good. what I would like to advise you, given that the topic was very interesting about goals and about girls, we started telling about a girl that, as far as I understood, maybe I misunderstood something, but you wanted to seduce a girl, and you set it like a goal for yourself, am I right? And you analyze this process. I wanted in this moment, at this moment, a personal story from you. So personal stories always work better than theory. And you had maybe a little bit too much theory and too little of a personal story. Because you maybe confused a little bit some of the people here. I don't know, maybe confused is a strong word, but still, I like your speech. What else I would like to advise you about your gestures? You were walking in a little bit cyclical manner. So, I call this tiger style. Tiger is a good, strong animal, but not for a public speaker. So try walking in a walk way, like not in circles. What else I would like to tell you? You see, they take off your belongings, your things. So I need to look at this page. I like the communication with the audience, but you need to have more eye contact because you look at your audience too rare. The audience is here and they want your eyes, they want to look into your heart, into your soul, so do it more, please. And what else? Maybe check pronunciation of some words, like success and some other words that you misspelled. But otherwise, your speech was good. I liked the summary in the end. I liked the style and that you wanted to educate us. So thanks again. Great, and waiting for your further speeches.
And so Zhenya was standing here in front of you, practicing his English, which is, thank you, Zhenya, that was good, very good. Yes, pronunciation is something that all of us, we have to work. We're not native speakers, so we need to work on that. But this is courage to come here and to look into people's eyes. What I would like to mention, though, is memorizing the speech. Because, do you know, there are two ideas. We memorize the speech, we practice it, and like there are rules. Rehearse, rehearse, rehearse. And you probably know that Steve Jobs, he rehearsed his speeches, his keynote speeches many times before speaking. But then there is another idea that you actually, maybe you learn it so well that you don't even have to think about it and it becomes a part of you, or maybe you're being spontaneous. Well, there's this thing, is when you are here on this stage and it's really hard for you to remember something, what did you want to say? What was the quote that you wanted to say? Maybe that's the moment when you need to be spontaneous and you need to just be yourself and just forget those notes that you were holding in your hands. That's when you could just relax. So Zhenya was here showing you his courage. He was feeling this stage, really. He was sharing a personal story. He was sharing with you his humor, his life, basically. I mean, it's not easy to talk about those things, to talk about relationships. So it is amazing how he could talk to the audience, throw different questions into the audience, and I think that is wonderful. So thank you again, Zhenya, mainly even for your courage, but also for the demonstration of all these skills here on this amazing stage. And I think there's a lot we can learn from you. Thank you very much.
1 minute of silence, please.
Probably the first and only one way is to the office of psychologist. But now I understood that Freud would clap to our speaker. Because it's good example how to use unhappy love affair in public speaking. And moreover, to be motivational speaker. Because it's not like come here and say, I experienced unhappy story and now I want to share you and I want that you come. No. This man, brave man, motivated us during his speech. What I would say about strong points? First, it was cooperation with audience. Eugene asked the question and the audience was involved in his speech, and there were answers to his speech. Second, it was structure, and I like the question to the audience in the final part of Eugene's speech. It was great. But the most I like relaxation. What usually we see then speaker come here on the scene, trembling, you don't know how to move. Eugene no. Eugene made circles here like on the stadium. And you can learn how to be relaxed during speech here in Toastmaster Club. What I would say about the things that could be improved. Probably, Eugene, do not underestimate basic things about eye contacts, about voice variety, because sometimes your voice was monotonous. So then you say about some intimate things, why not to say like not very loud? So it can be not so monotonous. And probably sometimes you need to stop and leave a speech from one place, not being every time in mood. Dear friends, I follow old Toastmaster systems. I don't know about new paths and new ways. And I don't know, is it some project about sharing unhappy love affairs? I don't know. But tonight I will write after our meeting in the United States in the headquarters Toastmasters that this project should be. There is some old proverb that every dog has its story. Friends, good example how to use your story, even unhappy, and convert in success in Toastmasters.
1 minute for judges to do their job, please.
95% снято.
I'm going to refill something and I heard that. Precious, I'm sorry. The theme is very simple and the same very important for everyone in this audience, I think. Touching, you know, because it's, and you have a very nice already eye contacts. You have amazing blue eyes like big ocean, and you can do that, and you use that. A little more voice variety I do need, because an amazing blue eyes, very good contact, but you will, in case you will add the voice variety, we can feel, everyone can feel the importance of love with regard to, because actually personal story was, but a bit strange, I think, because for me, I felt something that only statistics, 3 base, 3 points without no direction conclusions. Unfortunately, you shared with us your personal experience, but there was no direct structure. It was very flexible. You used all the sound. It was perfect. It was very nice to see your movings during the sound. I can mention that you have gorgeous harmonious gestures, but sometimes you were searching for the answers on the floor and making this thing. Because it's love, I do understand you. It's very touching theme. So I enjoy your speech very much, and I think you will improve some things to make it more structured and to share with us a piece of humor. It was relaxed. It was a really nice content. It was amazing. Thanks you.
1 minute of silence, please.
You know, you said things, if I would say them from the stage, I would have been killed later. But you said you had humor that women usually resent. I look to the audience always because it is important to see how audience reacts to you. To you, none of the women hate you. It's a miracle. It's a miracle how you've done it. It is your charm. Man, you have this. You have this charm. When you came to the stage, you have a gesture. I don't know if you made it consciously or subconsciously. You tilt with your head to the shoulder. It is a sign of assurance. And it added to your image of a person open to the world with open eyes, open gestures. And you were pacing, although I have a suggestion, you were pacing and you were always going by the same route. You were doing a circle because you've learned your speech by heart. And you had a paper in your hand, and I assume somebody told you about it, but it doesn't matter. What matters is your position on the stage. Now, you said 3 strategies. First, I change. Second, she changes. Third, nobody changes. Let us go 3. Now, man, you're trying to ignite the audience. You're telling this, and just for a second, imagine that you said afterwards that you're a practical man. What's so practical about just saying this? Come to a woman and say, what do you say if we just have a relationship? I will change for you. Will this be acceptable? Will this be acceptable? Okay, and now we make a second try, and we come to a lady and say, please, I'm the best of the best. Will you change for me? Will you find this acceptable? Will you? Yes or no? I'm dying here. And then you go to the third one and say, let us be free, but together. You do this, and people remember. At the end of the presentation, you said, could you please tell me again the steps? And it was a bit hard because people do not remember. If you make this practical, they will. And this may help other people to evolve, to achieve more things, and for you as well. So, it was a great speech during which I had immense pleasure. And I am sure that all ladies have. If you do this practical thing, if you add a little bit to your image of this, you will have no problem with strategies, and nobody in the audience will. Thank you very much.
Where is my time? Okay. Where is it again? I want to tell you thank you because it's my first time like evaluator of English speech, and your spoken language was clean and easy to understood. So thank you very much. Firstly, I want to say about your topic. It was interesting topic. You already judged auditory from first words. Like you said that you are my psychologist, and it was very cool. All audience, I exactly feel connecting with with your speech. So it was cool. It's a good message. Your content was very structured, and you have 3 points, and the one mind to other mind was clearly going from one to other. What is the next one? Oh, I like how you accumulate the reaction of auditory. When one girl said something, you said, yes, of course, and accumulate this energy, accumulate these words to your speech again, so other people don't, how it called? Don't feel that the focus from you go to auditory. You give this focus back. What again? What you can improve? I don't see your eyes. Jen says that she see your blue eyes and it was so beautiful. I don't see your eyes. So maybe you can improve your engagement from eye contact, from auditory. It's the things you can improve. word again. Oh, you have some chaotic gestures. I have a tool, so I'm trying to improve myself, and I want to tell you about these gestures. Your gestures must be connected with your speech, and I think you can do it better. Okay, thank you. It was cool. It was a cool experience for me, like evaluator, and I hope that I will hear more English speeches to improve myself and to say what can improve speakers. So thank you.
Okay, now let's give our judges 2 minutes to finish their ballots and to do the hard job of judging. It's quite nonsense. Unusual, yeah. What would you say is the best or the most suitable sphere of compliance and steps in planning?
Steps in planning is everything else. Success, money, position, career, whatever you want to achieve in your life, but not love.
Something logical, do I get it right?
Yes, something pragmatical.
Okay, I see. Thank you. Julia? And my question to you, I am lucky to know that you've been involved in teaching and you are a very bright and prominent teacher. Can you employ some ideas Eugene has provided in his speech in your teaching?
Sometimes it's important to learn from bad examples of structure. But sometimes if we violate the rules, some great ideas can appear out of it. So you can show how violation of rules brings something unusual that surprises people. So it's sometimes not what you expect, but it's something that makes this lasting impression.
Great, thank you. Timur? One more lecture. This tiger style of stage performance, can you provide us with some other ideas for styles? Because we have, Eugene was successful to illustrate this one. Can you think of any other?
You see, there is also lion style. Lion style is like tiger style, but when the person is very big and tall.
Well, okay, let's get practical. What about me? Which style can I employ? You know, be careful.
I think it's... I remember perfectly. I think it's a cray style.
I thought Masha said to me, be careful.
Cray.
Okay.
Crane is really fragile and very, how do you call it, moving really smoothly.
Okay, and slowly. Okay, thank you. I will try it next time. Thank you. Natasha? Well, never exhausted topic of courage. If we scale the courage of making a jump with a parachute and giving a speech at evaluation contest, so what would be your choice?
My choice? I would say both. It's okay, but I think that there are things that could be even more scary than jump with a parachute or give a speech at the evaluation contest.
Shall we get to that limit?
Which may like go higher than that, or even more scary. Yeah, I would say face your fears, and fears will still people who don't have fears are dead. They're not alive. There are no people who don't have any fears. That's why all we have to do is just face them, overcome them, and keep growing. So yes, public speaking, you know that public speaking is the second fear after death, statistically, in the world. So that's what jumping with a parachute to do nothing for people who are afraid of getting on the stage. So again, it's very totally different.
Okay, but may I get you on your word and put your name on the next evaluation contest secret speaker list?
Oh, sure.
Good.
That would be very
Yuri. Second one. And I've got a question again. You have mentioned some story about parenting and family today. You have evaluated a story about love. Have you got some nice detective story in mind for the next speech or for the next project in Toastmasters?
Yes, and I said about it Eugene just a few minutes before. And I had no time to say that. Eugene had some papers in his hand. And I know the story of the idea of Chekhov. The rifle is in the sea, we choose shoot. But Eugene did not use this paper. And I made suggestion that it's not the paper with the script of the speech, but this is the letters of his former beloved one. And it can be a good idea for next speech, as for Eugene, as for me. It can be two different speeches.
Thank you. We have many fruitful ideas for next contest, speeches, presentations. Jane, please. I have a very simple question for you.
Yes.
Which do you find more fascinating, thrilling, exciting? A speech contest or evaluation contest?
I have no idea because it's different ways. While I was listening to Zhenya, it was another way to understand how it's hard to stand here and to talk about very serious things. And while I was standing in front of the audience, it was adrenaline rush and two very big emotions. So I have no ability to choose.
Okay, let's put it differently. Well prepared or improvisation? What is your life strategy?
Well prepared improvisation.
Vitaly. Vitaly, you are a very experienced speaker and participant of evaluation contests. You have provided some recommendations to our speaker, and I have heard the word ladies several times, but I haven't heard the word gents or men any time. Are there any ideas for men how to cope with all these strategies and practices, Eugene?
The whole speech was for men because they absorb the knowledge, the strategies to approach women. So the target audience was men. And trust me, every man was sitting there in the audience thinking, oh yeah, I've tried that. Tried to say that to the woman that she must change. Oh, come on, it doesn't work like that. And all men said that to themselves. And maybe after this speech, they will think again and try once again to say to come to a lady and say, please change for me, because I'm the best of the best.
Okay, if we were researchers, what would be your predictions, all these three strategies wise? Like 10% success here, 50% success here, and 100% failure here.
How I wish to say lies and say there's something around 30, 30, 30. No, of course not. The second strategy where the woman changes, it's like 0.5%. Then let's be free, it's about 2%. And everything rest, man changes for women.
Olena. So just breathe in, breathe out. How was it?
You know, it's too hard for me. The last time I have a speech, for such auditory. It's where I have my bachelor degree at university, and I don't know why, but I'm going on English project, and all lessons in English, and my bachelor work also in English. And after I finished it, I said, oh my goodness, yes, I finished. No English in my life, but I'm here.
And you've done it.
And I done it, and I will do it time to time because I understand that I must do this, and I have no hope. I can just take it away, drop it away. Yes.
Okay, I think it needs one more round of applause. Keep applause. And what I'm trying to say is that our chief judge is ready with all these medals and certificates.
Very much. And I'm sure that we need to say thank you to our beautiful, fabulous cheerleader. I'd like to say thank you to all of this audience. It's the first time in my Toastmasters experience that we finish the contest after the 10 p.m. And without any delay, I believe there is a time to go to the first nomination and the third place to the International Speech Contest goes to Natalia Basilevich. To announce the results of the evaluation contest. The third place goes to juniors Zoya Gulькова. Second place I believe there is a time to leave the stage and to give it to our area director, Irina Polin.
This, I would like to say thank you to you. It says you can always take something more than nothing. I hope you will be great. I have the same one for our wonderful chair lady. And I'm looking for an audience for Alina. Alina, would you tell us more about upcoming events? Our division director, Alina Bondar.
Today we had a wonderful event, and it's a part of contest season because it's going on. It started our contest, the second part of the contest started in January or for somebody in December, and there are two contests, evaluation contest and international speech contest. The first level is in a club. Then goes area level, which we had today. Each club has its thing, so we had for a club contest. There was area. This area is area B2. Then we have 5 areas, 2 areas in Ukraine and 3 areas in Slovakia. And we form a division, Ukraine and Slovakia Division B. I'm a division director. And on the 15th of April, there will have a joint event with Slovakian Toastmasters, which will be held and organized in Kiev. And today I would like to inform you about this, and probably you've seen on Toastmasters Ukraine already an event. And today the registration is open, and you have the tickets for sale. You can sell from me now, or from your officers when you visit your club, or please register, and you can buy tickets whether by cash, by any paper ticket, or you can register and transfer the money by card. Then I would like to say 2 winners today, one of international speech contest and one of evaluation contest will represent your area. So it will be Vera and Vitaly, and on the 15th of April. So I kindly ask you to come and support them. And there will be on the 30th of March, there will be another area contest in Ukraine. Slovakian contests are already over, and they are delegating their participants. So it will be joint event with participants from Ukraine and Slovakia. And then 2 people from division will participate in a district conference and district contest, evaluation and speech contests. We are in a district together with Romania, Moldova, Slovakia, Czech Republic and Hungary. District 110, and then the winner of this district conference will go to Denver, Colorado, and their international convention will take place from the 21st till 23rd of August. So be ready, stay tuned, count on days, and before a little bit in advance, I would like to say to you that next year international convention will be held in Paris. And what I mean for you, prepare well in advance, and you can see best of the best of all the world in Paris. Soon I hope we'll know the dates 1 year in advance. But before that, I would like to ask you for this event. It's not only contests it's about socializing, networking, looking at the best representatives from Slovakia and Ukraine. Lots of workshops. We are with Marina Gotopila working on the program, and we call the best of the best trainers for you to socialize, to play games. The motto of this conference, of division conference, is speak, play, learn. Because there we are what for, so that while speaking, we speak and we learn there, and while playing, we also learn. And with Toastmasters, you have a wonderful opportunity for yourself to get more friends, to look at the best example of how to do, what to do. And we'll also have District Program Quality Director, Lukas Šlipich. Who knows Lukas Šlipich? Oh. Still some people know, but I think he should come more often. He would also come and deliver his workshop. So there will be lots of guests from abroad, and I would like you to come there, support your friends, and meet new friends and people, and have a Toastmastering together. The tickets, all the presents have tickets, and I have tickets. Registration is open. And let's make this event happen with your support, with your attendance. So let's together speak, play, and learn.
Thank you all for coming. Have a good Friday or good night. Thank you.
Так как вы наблюдали, или для Инстаграма, или